Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into something that's been stirring up a lot of conversation in Washington, a surprising split inside the Republican Party over healthcare, and it involves House Speaker Mike Johnson and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yep, you heard that right. Greene, who's usually one of the loudest voices backing conservative leadership, is now breaking ranks over healthcare policy and the ongoing government shutdown. So, what exactly is happening here? Let's unpack this together. So, Speaker Johnson revealed that he had what he called a thoughtful conversation with Marjorie Taylor Greene after she publicly criticized Republican leaders over the rising cost of health insurance. Greene took to social media, saying that premiums could double if certain tax credits under the Affordable Care Act expire, and she wasn't shy about pointing fingers. She accused GOP leadership of failing to communicate or even acknowledge how their approach could hurt everyday Americans, including, as she pointed out, her own family. That's quite a statement coming from someone who's been one of the staunchest conservative voices in Congress. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Johnson didn't dismiss her concerns outright. Instead, he said he appreciated the discussion and even called it thoughtful. He also noted that Greene isn't on the committees that handle healthcare or budget issues, but he invited her to get more involved in the talks if she wants to. On the surface, that sounds diplomatic, right? But it also shows how delicate things are within the GOP right now. When you have a high-profile figure like Greene breaking with leadership, it can quickly become more than just a policy disagreement. It can turn into a political statement. Let's pause for a second here. What do you think about Greene's position? Do you see it as her genuinely standing up for working Americans who are struggling with healthcare costs, or is this a calculated move to differentiate herself politically? It's fascinating because she's voicing a concern that millions of Americans, from both parties, actually share. Healthcare is one of those issues that hits everyone personally, no matter your political leanings. Right now, the bigger picture involves the government shutdown, which has stretched on as both parties remain at a standstill. Democrats are pushing to renew those enhanced ACA tax credits, the ones that help keep insurance premiums affordable for middle-class families. They're arguing that letting them expire would cause a major financial shock to millions of Americans. Republicans, on the other hand, have resisted, saying the credits are too costly and represent another government overreach. But Greene's stance throws a wrench into that argument. If even a conservative like her is worried about rising costs, it puts pressure on GOP leadership to rethink their approach. Speaker Johnson has tried to play it cool. He told reporters that the party is working hard on solutions to bring healthcare costs down and that there are hundreds of ideas on the table. That's his way of reassuring both the public and his colleagues that the GOP isn't ignoring the issue. But the truth is, they haven't presented a unified plan yet, and with the shutdown continuing, voters are growing more impatient by the day. Now, one has to wonder, is this disagreement between Johnson and Greene a small bump in the road, or the start of a deeper divide within the party? The Republican leadership has been trying to project unity, especially with major elections coming up, but moments like this can really test that image. Greene has a massive following and isn't afraid to challenge her own side publicly. So if she keeps pushing this issue, others might follow her lead, and that could complicate Johnson's efforts to keep everyone on the same page. Another layer to this is political optics. Democrats are likely watching all of this very closely because Greene's argument gives them an opportunity to say, even Republicans know healthcare costs are out of control. If that narrative sticks, it could hurt GOP messaging heading into the next election cycle. And Johnson, being the speaker, has to find a way to manage that perception while still keeping his members united. It's a tough balancing act, one that might determine how long his speakership stays stable. Let's think about this from another angle. Is this maybe a sign of a shift happening inside the Republican Party? We've seen it before. When grassroots movements start to clash with establishment leadership, it can reshape the party's priorities. Greene built her brand on being a voice for regular Americans, people who feel forgotten or ignored by Washington elites. So her focusing on healthcare costs could resonate far beyond Capitol Hill. But will that actually lead to policy changes? Or is it more about sending a message? Johnson did leave the door open for Greene, inviting her to join discussions about healthcare reform. That could be a genuine offer, or a way to keep her criticisms in check by bringing her inside the process. Either way, it shows that her influence can't be easily dismissed. Because let's face it, few Republicans draw headlines the way Greene does, and that visibility can be a powerful tool, especially during politically tense moments like a government shutdown. So, here's the big question for all of us. Will this disagreement between Johnson and Greene lead to real action on healthcare, or will it fade away once the shutdown ends? Americans are dealing with rising premiums, hospital bills, and insurance headaches every single day. People are frustrated. If this debate brings even a bit of honest attention to fixing the system, maybe it's not such a bad thing that voices like Greene's are breaking through the noise. It's also worth asking, do we need more lawmakers willing to challenge their own party when it comes to policies that affect people's daily lives? Or does that risk creating too much division at a time when unity is already hard to find? There's no easy answer, but it's a question that keeps popping up in every major policy debate lately. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about one argument between two Republicans. It's about how both parties handle one of the most pressing issues facing the country, making healthcare affordable. Whether you agree with Greene or not, her comments have sparked a conversation that's long overdue. And that's where we'll leave it for now, but I'd love to hear what you think. Do you believe Marjorie Taylor Greene is right to call out her own party on healthcare? Or do you think she's playing politics to stay in the spotlight? Let's talk about it in the comments below. I'm really curious to see where you all stand on this one. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on politics, policy, and everything happening in DC. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.